Reading from Krishna book Advent of Lord Krishna by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Krishna says, "One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode." Once, thousands of years ago, the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense forces of different kings who were actually demons but were posing themselves as the royal order. At the time the whole world became perturbed, so the predominating deity of the planet Earth, known as Bhumi, went to see Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe. Bhumi assumed the form of a cow, presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes, and related to him the calamitous condition of the earth. Lord Brahma became much aggrieved after hearing from Bhumi, so he, along with Bhumi and all other demigods, journeyed to the spiritual planet of Shvetadeep, where Supreme Lord Vishnu resides. There, on the shore of the ocean of milk, Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu with prayers. Next, he sat in meditation for a while and received a message in the heart from Lord Vishnu, and then he broadcast it to the demigod. The message was, "I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will appear on the earth very soon, along with my supremely powerful potencies, as long as I remain to execute my mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees. The demigods should also remain there to assist me. They should all immediately take birth in the Yadu dynasty, wherein I will also appear in the due course of time." After instructing and pacifying Bhumi and all the demigods, Lord Brahma departed for his own planet Brahmalok. The leader of the Yadu dynasty, King Shurasena, was ruling over the Madura district known as Madura. Because of the King Surasena's rule, Madura became the capital city of the Yadu dynasty. Kings who were all very pious. One time, Vasudev, the son of Shurasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his bride. At the time, Kamsa, the son of King Ugrasen, to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudev's chariot. While the bride and the bridegroom were riding on the chariot, musicians were playing jubilantly on conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums to mark the auspicious occasion. The procession was proceeding very pleasingly when suddenly from the sky a miraculous voice boomed, "Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother in law, but you do not know that their eighth child will kill you." After hearing the prophecy from the sky, Kamsa became very demoniac, immediately caught hold of Devaki's hair, and was just about to kill her with his sword. But Vasudev, astonished, then attempted to pacify his cruel brother in law. He said, "My dear Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman, your own sister? Why are you so afraid of death? From the very day you took your birth, you began to die, and when you die, you will receive another body by the arrangement of material nature. Therefore, having nothing to fear, please do not be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body." But Kamsa was not at all pacified. So Vasudev continued, "My dear brother in law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. Danger is to come from the sons of your sister. If Devaki give birth to sons, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action." Kamsa knew the value of Vasudev's word of honor and was convinced by his argument. So for the time being, he desisted from killing his sister. Vasudev was very relieved, and after praising Kamsa's decision, returned with Devaki to his home. When the first son was born, Vasudev immediately brought the child before Kamsa. Kamsa was so pleased to see Vasudev keeping the promise. Feeling somewhat compassionate, he said, "My dear Vasudev, you need not give this child to me, for it is your eighth child that is supposed to kill me. You can take him back." When Vasudev was returning home with his firstborn child, he was pleased by Kamsa's behavior, but he knew that Kamsa lacked self control, could change his mind at any moment. At that time, the great sage Narada Muni visited Kamsa, and he heard about Kamsa's returning Vasudev's firstborn child. Narada Muni was eager to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna. He therefore informed Kamsa that personalities in Vrindavan like Nanda Maharaj, all the cowherd men and women, and the wife of the cowherd men, as well as Vasudev and all of Vasudev's relatives born in the Yadu dynasty were preparing for the appearance of the Supreme Lord. Narada Maharshi warned Kamsa to be careful of his so called friends and well wishers in those families. They were actually demigods who had taken birth in the Yadu dynasty to prepare for Lord Krishna's appearance. Kamsa at once became alert. He understood that since the demigods had already taken birth, Lord Krishna must be coming soon. Therefore, he at once arrested Vasudeva and Devaki and shackled them behind prison bars. Within the prison, Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kamsa, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed each of them. Though he was particularly afraid of the eighth child, after the visit of Narada Maharshi, he came to the conclusion that any of the children might be Krishna. Therefore, he felt it was safer to kill all the babies. When Devaki became pregnant for the seventh time, a plenary expansion of Krishna known as Anantashesh appeared within her womb. At that time, Krishna ordered his principal potency Yogamaya to take birth in the village of Vrindavan, which was near Mathura. There, Rohini, one of the wife of Vasudeva, was residing at the house of Nanda and Yashoda. Not only Rohini, but many others of the Yadu dynasty were scattered all over the country out of fear of Kamsa's atrocities. Some of them were even living in the mountain caves. Lord said to Yogamaya, "My plenary expansion Anantashesh is within the womb of Devaki. He is the source of all the spiritual power and he is the original spiritual master. He should be known as Balram. You can arrange the transfer of Anandashesh from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. After this arrangement, I am going to appear in the womb of Devaki with my full potencies as a son, and you will appear as the daughter of Nanda and Yashoda in Vrindavan." After Anantashesh was transferred from Devaki womb to Rohini, people believed that Devaki's seventh pregnancy had been a miscarriage. Thereafter, the Supreme Lord Krishna entered the heart of Vasudeva. He then transferred himself to the heart of Devaki and from there entered her womb. When Kamsa looked at his sister, saw her glowing transcendental beauty, he at once concluded that Krishna had taken shelter in her womb. Kamsa then began to brood, "What is to be done with Devaki? Surely she has Krishna within her womb, so it is certain that Krishna has come to kill me. If I kill Devaki now, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will more vehemently. Besides, killing her would be a most abominable act and would spoil my reputation, for she is a woman and she is under my shelter and she is pregnant. Moreover, I would lose the results of my pious activity. People would curse me. I might even go to the darkest region of hell." Kamsa thus meditated on all the pros and cons of killing Devaki. He finally decided not to kill her, but to wait for her child to be born and then kill him. At that time, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narada Muni and followed many other demigods, invisibly came to the house of Kamsa. They began to worship and pray to Krishna, who was within the Devaki's womb. After doing so, the demigods, Brahma, Lord Shiva, in front of them, returned to their heavenly abode. When it was time for the Lord to appear, The constellations in the sky became auspicious. In all the directions there was atmosphere of peace, prosperity, flowers bloomed, birds sang, peacock danced, and the winds blew pleasantly. The Lord Vishnu, who resides in the heart of every living being, took birth in the darkness of night, appearing before Devaki like a full moon rising on the eastern horizon.